The crowd stood in silence as the woman waited for judgment. Her accusers had brought her before Jesus, demanding an answer. They knew what the law said. They believed they had trapped him. But Jesus said nothing. He simply bent down and began to write on the ground. What did he write? John tells us that Jesus wrote not once, but twice. Yet Scripture never tells us what those words were. For centuries, people have proposed answers. Some believe he wrote the sins of the accusers. Others believe he wrote words connected to the law, but none of these explanations is confirmed by Scripture. So why would God preserve the mystery? And what if the most important question is not what Jesus wrote, but why he chose to write at all? To understand that moment, we must return to Jerusalem, where a carefully constructed trap was waiting for Jesus. According to John chapter 8, Jesus was teaching in the temple when the scribes and Pharisees brought a woman before him. They said she had been caught in adultery. Then they reminded Jesus that Moses had commanded the people regarding such cases, and they asked him a seemingly simple question. "What do you say?" But John tells us something the crowd needed to understand. They were not simply asking for guidance, they were testing him. They wanted an accusation they could use against him. The situation was carefully designed. The law of Moses treated adultery as a serious sin. So the religious leaders presented Jesus with a difficult challenge. Would he uphold the law, or would he show mercy? They expected his answer to place him in their trap. But Jesus did something they did not expect. He said nothing. He bent down and began writing on the ground with his finger. And this is where the mystery begins. John tells us that Jesus wrote, but John does not tell us what he wrote. Not one word of the writing is preserved. The text simply leaves us standing beside that scene, watching Jesus write in silence. Then he stood and spoke. "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." Those words changed everything. Jesus did not deny that sin was serious. He did not declare that the woman's actions were acceptable. Instead, he turned the examination toward the people who had brought her. If they were demanding judgment, they had to face the condition of their own hearts. Then something remarkable happened. One by one, the accusers began to leave. John says they went away, beginning with the older ones. The stones that had represented condemnation were never thrown. And once again, Jesus bent down and wrote on the ground. This is the second time John mentions the writing, and once again, the content remains hidden. What could Jesus have written? One possibility is that he wrote the sins of the people standing before him. Perhaps the writing exposed what they had hidden. Another possibility is that he wrote words connected to the law they were using against the woman. Some have even suggested that he wrote the names of the accusers or details about their own lives. These ideas have appeared throughout Christian interpretation, but there is an important line we must never cross. The Bible does not tell us that any of these explanations is correct. They are possibilities. They are interpretations. They are not revealed facts. If we want to remain faithful to Scripture, we must allow the mystery to remain a mystery. And perhaps that is exactly why the passage is so powerful. Because the question may not be, what did Jesus write? The deeper question may be, why did Jesus write at all? Notice what he did. He did not allow the crowd to turn justice into a spectacle. He did not allow the woman's shame to become entertainment. He confronted the accusers without denying the seriousness of sin, and when everyone else had gone, Jesus spoke directly to the woman. "Has no one condemned you?" She answered, "No one, Lord." Then Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on sin no more." Look carefully at those words. Jesus offered mercy, but he also called her to transformation. He did not say that sin did not matter. He did not tell her to return to the same life. His mercy came with a call. Go and sin no more. This is one of the most important truths in the entire scene. Biblical mercy does not pretend that sin is harmless, and biblical truth does not require cruelty. Jesus brings mercy and truth together. The accusers wanted judgment without examining themselves. Jesus exposed their hearts. The woman needed mercy, but she also needed a new direction. Jesus gave her both. And that brings us back to the writing on the ground. Why didn't John tell us what Jesus wrote? We cannot know with certainty. Scripture simply does not reveal it, and that silence should teach us something. There are questions about the Bible that we desperately want answered. We want every hidden detail. We want to know every word Jesus wrote. We want to see what the crowd saw. But sometimes Scripture gives us the event without giving us every detail surrounding it. God has not promised to satisfy every curiosity. He has promised to reveal what we need to know. The mystery of the writing may remain unanswered, but the meaning of Jesus' actions is not hidden. He confronted hypocrisy. He refused to participate in manipulated condemnation. He showed mercy to someone who had fallen, and he called that person to leave sin behind. That message reaches far beyond the temple courts of Jerusalem, because it is easy to recognize someone else's failure while ignoring our own. It is easy to hold the stone in our hands, while forgetting that we also stand in need of mercy. It is easy to demand justice from others while asking for grace for ourselves. The scene in John 8 forces us to stop and examine our own hearts. What are we carrying? A stone of accusation, a record of someone else's failures, or the humility to recognize our own need for grace? Jesus did not tell the woman that sin was irrelevant. He told her to walk away from it. And he did not allow her accusers to pretend they were morally superior. The mystery remains. We still do not know what Jesus wrote. Perhaps we never will. But maybe that is not the conclusion John wanted us to chase. The writing disappeared. The words were never recorded, but the words Jesus spoke were preserved. Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, sin no more. The mystery of what Jesus wrote may remain unanswered, but the message he left behind is unmistakable. Mercy for the broken, truth for the guilty, humility for those who judge, and a call to walk away from sin. Sometimes the mystery God leaves unanswered is meant to make us look more closely at what he has already revealed. If this mystery made you look at one of Jesus' most unforgettable moments in a new way, don't let the journey end here. Subscribe to Bible Truth. For more biblical mysteries, difficult questions, and powerful stories that reveal the deeper meaning of Scripture. And I want to hear from you. What do you think Jesus wrote on the ground? Share your theory in the comments, but remember, where Scripture is silent, we should remain humble. And if this message spoke to you, share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that mercy does not ignore sin and truth does not require cruelty. Until the next journey, keep searching the Scriptures, keep seeking the truth, and remember, we may never know what Jesus wrote in the dust, but we know exactly what he wanted us to hear. Mercy for the broken, truth for the guilty, and a call to walk away from sin.